Yes, family reunion was great. We got a lot of really good stuff out of it, which is really good.
Where do you stay?
Oh, they're trying to join.
Yeah, let's see what's going on here. Let's do it.
Am I in the right? Maybe I was in the wrong.
I think you should be fine, but let's see what's going on here.
Yeah, something weird. Yeah, family reunion was great. It was honestly probably the best one I've been to. I've been to a bunch. Just the info was really good.
Where do you stay when you go?
It's always random. So this year, because it was in Anaheim, we stayed at the Hilton Garden Inn, which was right next to, or no, just maybe it was the Hilton. Was I in the wrong spot?
No, we're good. No, I'm not sure what happened there, but we got it fixed now. Hi, Zoom.
Yay.
Let's see, desktop and me. Here we are.
There's a few of us on Zoom. Some of us got the memo. Emily got it. So guys, we're going to be moving the office meetings to 11 o'clock permanently because we do Ignite and other programs and trainings, and the 10 o'clock time slot we have to keep moving. So we're just going to keep them at 11 anyways. We had done a survey a while back, and most people actually said 11 was the best time for them to be able to make the meeting. So reality, we are supposed to be lead generating from 9 to 10, 10 to 11. 11 is follow-up, but it's easier for us to give up that hour than right in the middle. So we're going to be going forward. We'll be making these at these meetings at 11 o'clock. We'll get started because I have a lot to get through. And at the very end, we're going to do the game. Sean is going to come in and do the game at the very end. Reason being is since we moved this to 11, today's my son's birthday. I promised him I'd pick him up from school and we're going to get lunch. So I have to run out of here by like 45 so I can be there on time. And then Sean will come in and do the game. We'll have some fun at the end. As always, we'll have all these slides for you emailed out by the end of the day. We are short-handed here as Mike's moved on, and we're still looking for growing the staff, and someone's still on pregnancy leave. So we're a little bit short, so Mono's running around with his head chopped off, trying to do 4 jobs at once. So we appreciate Mono. We're all a little crazy right now. Mono's been probably feeling it the most, trying to watch up front and do everything else. And then today as well, Angie's out. So there's just 2 of us, 2 of them, and Iman is doing transmittal, which always takes the full day of trying to be quiet and get it through. So it's just craziness. All right, the Kappa party. So we have the Kappa party, guys, March 9th. That's next week at 4 o'clock. We're going to be doing Kappers and awards all in one. So our yearly awards, if you see how everyone did last year as a total, it starts at March 9th. The awards start at 4. And then at the 5 to 9, we'll have a casino night where it'll be just having fun, casino night. They have professional dealers. I don't know if they're professional dealers, but dealers. They have different games set up. It's fake money. You come and just have some fun. We'll have some prizes. It'll be a really good time. Pie and bake sale auction. So during that, we're going to have a pie and bake sale auction. So if you bring in a homemade dish or bought dish or something, we bid on them, and all the money goes to KW Cares. Community committee is going to be right after this, March 2nd at 12 in the training room. It was supposed to be at this time, but with the Ignite, we had to move everything around. We're looking at how we can support each other in selling our own listings and looking at doing our own caravan with the Gabar caravan, going back and forth to show off our listings to our agents, build community within ourselves. So hang out right after if you want to participate in that. All right, the Ignite has been rolling on. I don't know if you guys have been in there. These are the Ignite trainers and everyone who's going to be involved with Ignite. You can see all the way down, we've already had a few of the classes. Jimmy taught it yesterday. Maria's teaching it today. JD's Friday. Looks like I'm Monday in my calendar. Brandon's going to be there. Becky, I'm again, and George, Jason, Rhonda, Philemon, Michelle, JD, George again, Ileana, and Amy. So we have a lot of great top producers and leadership involved. We're all going to be here supporting you guys to help grow your business. Think like a CEO. If you guys are looking for a great podcast, you might as well listen to a billionaire started the world's biggest real estate company.
the best way to approach coming disaster is to lean into it and run through it.
Because that way they just get through the other side faster.
That's right. In a recession, don't have a recession mindset.
You can go really negative really fast.
Change is inevitable. Participation is optional.
And that's actually where all the opportunity is too.
That's right. Charge the storm.
6 seasons, he interviews other top CEOs, he tells his story. If you want to really dive into the mind of Gary Keller, I recommend that. You'll hear a lot of the stuff that I say, and you're like, wow, Garrett's not as smart as we thought he was. He just steals Gary's stuff. Yeah, I do. KW Luxury, if you guys have been interested in KW Luxury, it's one of our communities within Keller Williams. It's open to all agents. You do have to have a previous sales, at least 1 or 2, I can't remember what the qualifications are. At least, I think it's double the average sales price. So if our average sales price is $450,000, if you've sold a home at $900,000 or above, you would be eligible for the KW Luxury. It is a community that you have a little perks, luxury people talk together to help you sell some homes. Really great stuff in there. Upcoming events, some of this stuff's already passed, but we still have a few on here. The KW Commercial Nucleus Live, interested on that. Thursday starting March 9th at 10 a.m. And then KW Relocation and Building Powerful Pipelines, March 16th. These are Central Standard Time, so everything's out in Texas. So that would be 11 o'clock our time. Command moves at the speed you need. We're going to skip that video today because we start a little bit late. But also, guys, build a $1,000 pipeline in Command 90 days. It's in Command. You could go into Command and take the class. It's a virtual training. It's great. You can't go wrong. 6 personal perspectives. These are Amy taught this class probably about 5 or 6 months ago. These is also being taught online at a KW YouTube channel. With John Clyde, Jonathan Dupree, Wendy Harrelson, Mark Brenneman, Kimberly Mankita, and Mark Wise. These are all division, and they own multiple market centers and started as agents within Keller Williams and have grown large businesses. And they're teaching each of these personal perspectives. So if you want to jump in there and get some great training, can't go wrong. KW Maps Coaching Spring Masterminds is coming up April 2nd to 4th. If you're a part of Mastery, you can join if you have a Mastery contract for Maps Coaching, you can do Spring Masterminds in Pittsburgh. One-on-one coaching, MCAs, 30, 60, 90, starting in February. One-on-one coaching listing agents. So for teams, stuff like that, I have a listing agent they want to coach, starting in February. So those are programs now available. K-Score, continuing education credit with K-Score. So we're also, our K-Score is our free real estate school. It's not free. Let me rephrase that. It's our real estate school that we provide sponsorships for people to get their license for free. It's online and self-paced. We use that to try to get people into Keller Williams. Our K-Score now offers continued education. We know every 4 years we have to redo ours. We also have George in the building, which is great. Most Keller Williams don't have that. But if you needed to look at that, you're more than welcome to. I always recommend talking to George. His program's pretty sweet. The Telephone Consumer Protection Act, this is a CYA, cover your apples. Don't call people on the do not call list. They're suing brokerages as a whole because of it. And they're class action lawsuits. Lawyers are getting together, the people that are just cold calling people on the do not call list. So make sure you're not doing that.
Do you have the website to check those out?
Yeah.
Do not call in Google. I forget what it's called, but I think if you Google the do not call list, it pops up and you can see. A lot of services, if you're using it to cold call, scrub do not calls for you, so that way you don't have to worry about it. It's probably extra service. All right, let's jump into lore. If you guys have questions, jump in. There's a lot to go over today. We're going to be looking really at international across the United States, really diving into what's going on across the United States, more so than local today. People do not follow the best leaders. They follow the ones they can understand the easiest. Does that make sense? It's our job as real estate agents to be leaders within our database, to be the economist of choice. So we have to make sure that they can understand us and it's easy. So if anything's complex or complicated, let me know. I'll try to break it down. But the idea is just keep it simple, kind of low level, but big picture. I wonder if some consumers have worked through the 5 stages of grief of higher mortgage rates yet. Probably not. All right, let's look at annual home sales. So this is back from 1990, and this is the amount of single-family home sales in the millions. Back in 1990, there was 3.2 million home sales. 2000, there was 5.2. 2005, there was 7.1 million home sales. From that 4-year period, between 4 or 5 year period from 2002 to 2006, they had 32.2 million home sales, the most ever recorded history that we've ever had, right? And then what do we have? We had the Great Recession. Then you look back since 2015, 2020, we've had a pretty steady incline, pretty steady amount of homes, around the 5.5, 5.6 million home sales. Now, one thing I want to point out, as we're talking about the recession that we're at today, and how do we predict the future? We look at past data and give us a best indicator of what's going to happen, right? So we look back right when we hit the bubble in 2005. Now, 2005 was unique because there was a lot of shenanigans going on in the lending industry that caused a major bust, right? So we don't expect this crazy cliff like that happened for a lot of years, right? But it's some data to go off of. So the best year ever then, 7.1, right? That's kind of when the turn happened, halfway through 2006 where it really went, right? But you see that first little year where it cliffs, and then what happens? It drops to 1.5 million sales, almost 35% of home sales, right? So what happened last year, 2021, we have 6.1 million. What do? We drop to about 5. So we go 1 year over after that. 2008, we dropped all the way down to 4.8 or 4.1 million. So if we keep looking over the years transpired, we're following the path down. We predict we'll be around 4.3 to 4.6 million home sales this year, just based off where we've started. Locally, if we look where we're at, we've been about 50% year over year less sales. So in January of 2022, we sold about 500 homes in the market in Antelope Valley. In January of 2023, we sold about 250. So in February, we'll figure out what those numbers are here real shortly, in the next couple days. It's looking like it's going to be the same. December of last year was also the same, about 50% less. So we're already in the 50% range. We do expect the better times to come a little. You know, this is the time of year where it gets a little better, typically, March, April, May. So hope those numbers might push those numbers up. But throughout the year, we can expect probably about 30% less sales. All right, how do we get paid? When we close a deal. So if we have 30% less sales, that means we'll probably have 30% less deals chances to get paid. So we have to make sure that we let those things happen to the RE/MAX agents, the Century 21 agents, but not us. All right, we'll still take our unfair share. Home prices annually. This is one of my favorite slides to use whenever we're discussing is now a good time to buy. Because I don't care when you bought, it's always going to go up. So even if you bought in the peak of 2006, right before the crash, was it still good to buy now?
Yes.
So historically, we see a 4% average of houses going up. So when things are going smoothly, you see a 4% rise, 4% rise, 4% rise. We get crazy with lending and a lot of craziness going on. The bubble pops, we come back down, we see a 4% rise, 4% rise, 4% rise, and we skyrocket of 12% above the trend line still as of today. So we're still 12% above the 4% trend line if you purchased a home over the last few years and had a lot of equity in the home, building wealth, right? So people are like, is now a good time to buy? I'm like, you should have bought yesterday, right? I was just like planting a tree. It's the best time to plant a tree? Yesterday, because it takes time to grow. Same thing with any investment, real estate piece of property. Over time, it's a good investment, right? Even if it comes down. Home prices monthly. So we look at the median home prices in the thousands monthly. So we have from 2020 is blue, 2021 is teal, and 2022 is pink. You see the home prices in 2022 have been pretty solid, but we have started to see a downtrend of our home prices across the nation through December, November, October. You kind of see the same trend yearly with those numbers, up and down, up and down, up and down. But the thing is they're still up. They've still been up over time. So the prices are starting to come down, but we're still above what we were the previous year. Home price annual appreciation. So our annual median home price appreciation is just how much the houses go up year over year, right? We had this big collapse in this area, but for the most part, we've been pretty much above that 4%, 4% guideline that we would expect. The 6.37%, 12 to 19, and almost 13% in 2020, 2022. That's crazy. Projected we come down this year about 1% in sales price. But people, if they bought in 2020, like, oh, I missed it. No, you didn't. You didn't miss it, right? You didn't. It's still good. You might have missed the interest rate, which will hurt on the buying, but you didn't miss the sales price. Total market volume. I don't have chat. Hold on, let me see if people are chatting questions.
Are these national figures?
These are national. National figures. Okay. Inventory monthly. So inventory is how we tell our base supply and demand. How many homes do we have on the market is our supply, right? How many people are buying homes is our demand. We think the time change might have messed everybody up. Yeah, we're a lighthouse today. So our 2020, you see our demand was actually pretty high. Now COVID kind of messed everything up through here. We couldn't even buy homes, so things popped up, right? And then it kind of flat, but we were around the 3% for a long time. That pent up demand really shot down our supply through over the year, or through over the rest of the year, and it continued all the way to 2021 when people got a lot of free money. They were sitting at home all day going, I hate this house, I want to buy something different. We didn't expect that to continue long term, but we've been creeping back up in our demand, our supply, hovering around the 3% range nationally, right? It's still considered a buyer's market because anything less than between 5 months is a buyer's market. 5 to 7 months is a neutral market. Above 7 months is a seller's market, right? We've been so used to such a crazy seller's market that now it feels like more of a buyer's market because it's not as crazy. But truth be told, we're still kind of hovering in a seller's market. Mortgage rates. So this is another great one. People complaining about mortgage rates. Guess what? Here's the truth. They're not going back down to 3%. They probably want to be back at 4%. We're going to be in this range for a long time, right? So historically, interest rates have hovered right around 7.81%. If you take just the last 20 years or 30 years, it's been about 6%. So that's the historically where we're at right now. It's gone up since this has been done because inflation has still gone up. But right around 6% is historically where we've always been. We're at where we've always been, right? So this, oh, we missed it, all this stuff's gonna happen, I'll wait for the interest rates to go down. If someone says that, I would go back to this slide and ask them, how long are you going to wait for interest rates that are probably never going to go down? Is how much money you're going to be missing year over year over year, right? Oh, wrong way. The 20-year, 2003 30-year fixed rate, talking about demand, where the interest rate lies. So strong buyer demand is anything under 6%. Because money is still pretty cheap to go get into a home. Good buyer demand, right where we've been out, the 6.5% range. Limited buyer demand, we're in the 7s, which we have been in and out of. And then weak buyer demand, anything above 7. So we've seen that, we've hit above 7, we've hit in that range, and that's where things have really slowed down. Right now, we're still kind of hovering around in the good buyer demand into the limited buyer demand. Affordability. So how affordable is stuff? If you look at the long-term average, 20.3%, 20.3 is the number of a natural average of affordability for where we're at. Interest rates, the pricing of homes. Back in the 80s, things got incredibly expensive, things weren't affordable. Interest rates back then were insane, right? Now you see things were really affordable through 2010, 15, and 20 because interest rates were so low and prices were low, which caused it all to go up. We've now just this last year bypassed the historical average of the 20.3, where now things are getting less affordable. Interest rates going up, prices have remained high, things are less affordable. Gross domestic products. So our GDP, this is for our government. We look at recessions if we have 2 consecutive months with the GDP below 0. So last year we officially had a recession, but we had 2 good months outweighed the 2 bad months, enough for us to be out of that recession. Does it look like another one's coming? I don't know. A lot of people are saying yes. It looks like the writing's kind of on the wall, but some of the key indicators show that it may not. We just have to keep paying attention because typically if we go into a recession again, that's typically, the feds might even force it depending on what happens with inflation. To get out of that recession, they typically will lower rates, and we've seen that. They have the rates, they actually let off a little bit, things kind of pick back up. But if the inflation remains high, they may lift it back up and may go back into more of a recession. But as of right now, the key indicators, the government wants 2 to 4% in GDP numbers. Anything above 2 is considered pretty good. So right now, considering where the economy is doing, as a government looks at the Fed, we're doing okay, right? Obviously, we throw out 2020, so we had COVID, they shut down half the government, and then 2021 you have to kind of throw out because everything got pushed and everything went crazy because we shut down everything for 3 years. But if you look back historically, the two range is pretty good. Obviously, we had the rough years of 8 and 9, but before that, we have those ranges of what we're doing in our GDP. Kind of shows what businesses are producing, what's getting made, if people are making money. So another big key indicator they look at for recessions is unemployment. So unemployment, the magic number is 4%. Anything below 4% the government considers is a good unemployment number. Unemployment is low. Above 4%, that's when they go, uh-oh, we might have some issues. Once again, we got to throw out 2020. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but if we look back in history, we were doing okay unemployment, then boom, the Great Recession hits, 9% unemployment. That's bad, right? Recession, we're heading that direction. There's some interesting, if you look at like people, participant in workforce, a lot of younger people aren't even participating, and that does have a lot of people concerned because young people don't want to go work. They want to live in fairyland. More power to them. So that number is, if you listen to some areas, it's a little bit skewed because of the unwilling to workforce. Because these are people looking for jobs that can't find them, right? But then there's the people that just aren't looking. They don't care. Those people aren't counted, and that number's growing. So there's some concerns there of what that looks like. Unemployment as a whole, the number percentage annually, same numbers we were talking about. The key points were how the high, low, where we're at currently, historically, is really good. So if you say like a massive drop in a recession, and everyone's going to lose their job, and there's going to be all these REOs or these distressed properties, it doesn't necessarily look that way because that number starts rising, people start losing their jobs. Okay, maybe that's something that's going to happen. There was a lot of talk about, even me, I looked at it, Google, Apple, Facebook firing all these people, all this unemployment. Well, the truth is, the NASDAQ, those companies that fall under, are just 4.09% of the entire workforce in the United States. Of those 4.9%, only 1.04 was actually let off during that time. So the, thousands of people that Google let go, that Apple, that Facebook, where we're like, oh man, they're cutting back. The workforce response to that is minuscule. So that doesn't probably affect the overall unemployment numbers as much as we might think it would. And this was surprising to me because when I heard those things, I went, uh-oh, in my head. I read the news articles, uh-oh, right? When you really look at the numbers, it doesn't make that big of a difference. 1% of 4% of the total people, whatever that percent is. I'm not a mathematician, I only know 3 and 6%. Personal savings. 7. Personal savings account. This does have me worried. A personal savings account, how much money people are saving, and this is actually one of the historic lows that people are not saving money. One of the reasons being inflation has been so hard. I want to enjoy some eggs and bacon in the morning for breakfast, and I don't want to pull out a second on my house to afford a carton of eggs. because everything has gotten so expensive. So savings accounts have been driven down. Now back last 2020, we gave away a lot of money. The government overdid it by a lot, and they caused a lot of hyperinflation during that time. So a lot of people had money in savings because everything was shut down and they were given money, right? So throw that number away. But we look historically at our savings amount, at least 8.6 in 2012, back in 2005, right before we had that, nobody had any money in savings. What did everyone do? They pulled out seconds on their house and went and bought a boat. Good for them. Worked out well, right? So this is concerning the amount that nobody has savings. So if something was to happen, like someone was to lose their job, they can just survive 3 or 4 or 5 months till they found their replacement. They are in trouble instantly, right? Inflation. So this is the big key indicator that is cause of concern for recession in the economy. The government knows, the Fed knows. If you look back in history, one of the major things that has destroyed democracies, destroyed places, is hyperinflation. Hyperinflation gets out of control, people can't afford anything anymore, and governments collapse because they can't control, printing money is not a great idea all the time. So last year we hit up to the 7%, that's scary. Inflation, the magic number is 2%. 2% is what we want to see. And we're way, way, way above that. Now we kind of turned the corner because we raised interest rates so much, everything slowed down. But we're still seeing numbers that are higher than expected. We keep seeing these projections of it creeping back down, but it's not creeping fast enough. So when you pay attention to when they release the consumer price index number, you pay attention to is it still 5, 6, 7, 4? What is that number? If you see a high number, you could expect they're probably going to raise interest rates again. In fact, that's what happened last time. People were hoping to see a better number. It wasn't as well. Then the Fed's like, okay, instead of going up another point a quarter, we may go up a half a point, which that affects us, directly affects us. There's different inflation categories. One, they do the CPI includes energy and food, and one they don't, which you hear people talk about, why one's better than the other. Just look at them both and just look at the graph in history and go, wow, that's really high, I don't like it. And I hate paying $5 a gallon for my gas. I hate paying $20 for eggs. I hate paying all this ridiculous money. Now I gotta pull from savings every month. Now my savings is going the wrong direction. That's exactly what's happening. Inflation perspective, this is interesting to see why inflation is gone so crazy over since the 2000s. So the biggest thing is hospital services costs. Those are up 222%. The college tuition and fees, I think that's the biggest scam out there. The textbooks they charge is 163% higher. They make these kids get their textbooks that the teachers make to make money off of it. And these colleges have these $1 billion football stadiums. And then they go get these loans, and then they ask the taxpayers to repay that, and you're like, this seems like a total scam to me. Hey, look, I'm still paying off my college loans, and I've never used my degree, so look at me, I'm right there with them. Then medical care service, child care and nursery costs are way up. The housing's up only 87%, which is still a lot. But if you look at that compared to some of the other stuff, it's like, wow, new cars are up 24%, clothing is down. Cell phone services are down almost 40%. Computer software is down almost 71%. Toys are cheaper, and TVs are down 97%. You used to spend more money for a big old TV than you do today. Technology makes things cheaper. Politics makes all that stuff more expensive. I don't know how to frame that. But it's just interesting to see where the money's going, right? Inflation, affordability in a perspective. Can I get it real time? Okay, 11:34, good. Because that clock is way fast. Yeah, not way, but like 5 minutes. Inflation, affordability in perspective. So we look back in 1989, and then they adjust it for inflation, like pretending like it inflated. This is what you would have been making, and then what it costs now. So if you look at a car, it's up about 31% from then. If you look at gas prices, it's up about 65% now in California, and way more expensive because we have extra taxes and we just love paying more for gas here. Houses, the price were $230 to $386, so Mortgage though, this is interesting. We really have only gone up about 2% what the mortgage rate were back then compared to what they are now because of different loan programs and different things. So the affordability to get into a home from back in 1989 is actually pretty relative, right? Now, if you look at the price, it's way up almost 70%. But the rate of what we're paying monthly is only up a little bit. Different programs, different abilities to get in. The wages is up about 14% from then. So it's just something to look at in perspective. Really the reason why they show this, or we show this, is it's way easier to get in a home than it's ever been. I mean, well, 2 years ago it was easier, but you know what I mean. Sides per agent. So historically, average is an agent does about 10 sides per year. Average agent does about 10 sides per year. NAR adds 550,000 agents. Sides dropped from 13.5 to 7.5. Bunch more agents get in because the money's good. Everyone does less. Carr loses 330,000 agents. The sides go back up. So it's a flow of the market. Agents are always slow to the game. The market's doing really good. People see, oh, they can make a lot of money in real estate. They're about a year and a half behind. They get into the game. The market crashes, they stay in for another 6, 7, 8 months, they get out, a bunch of agents leave, the market starts to get better, the agents start to make more money. So from 2013 to 2022, we went from 9.8 down to 6.3. We're gonna see that rise as more agents get out of the business. The truth is, we had to pay our GABAR fees this last month. The office, we get fined if our agents are not a part of GABAR. We don't kick people out because we wanna be mean. We have no intentions to do that, but we just don't wanna get fined. So we have to remove a lot of agents this month because they didn't go pay their fees. They are not going to continue doing real estate, right? And we're just a example of what everyone's facing across the nation right now as people are looking at it going, do I want to pay my $1,000 fees or is it just time for me to go get a different job? If that makes sense. Volume per agent, the great thing about prices going up is we make more money even if we sell less homes. We get paid off commission. So as the market, we did more sides in 2012, but we only got 2.4 million in volume. Now we're doing less sides, but we're making more money. Just from when I started at the beginning of 2016, my average sales price was $220,000. First time I sold a home after I did all my splits, I made like $2,800. I was like, woo! Now I give out first checks, I'm like, dang! I wish this was my first check. The average sales price is at least double, and there's some good deals in there, right? There's some good amount of money. First time I sold a house in court sales, $310,000, I got 3%, it was a $9,000 check. I was so excited. Right after my splits and everything, I think I made about $6,000. I was so excited of that check. Now that's like the worst. Like, oh man. So the benefit is the prices go up, we make more money, we're able to stay in the game a little bit longer, but everything else has gotten more expensive, so there's the balance. Listings with price drops. So we look back last year, almost nobody was dropping prices. Almost 50 to 60% of people are showing dropping prices. You take this slide with you and you go on a listing presentation and you let them know this is why we price it correctly, because 58% of agents are not. If we price it correctly, we're more likely to get offers and stuff in the beginning. Oh, were you taking a picture, Mark? Got it.
No, I was going to ask, so what is the average right now in the MLS list price versus sell price? Is that one of the slides?
I didn't do anything local this time. I will have that on the next one because it was very similar from the previous month because there was like no sales to really drive a difference. List price to sales price was still around like 98 or 97%, but it just refreshed yesterday, so I don't know what this month is. All right, new listings, new listing volume. So you can see the number of listing volume really dwindled over the year, following the trend of less listings coming on the market. So a lot of the reasons why our absorption rate or our supply and demand hasn't really shifted is people are not listing their homes. And you can just tell as we're selling a lot less homes, typically taking listings maintains, and our absorption rate would climb. We'd have more supply, but just not getting the listings either. No one's buying it and no one's selling. That's what that's indicating, right? Distressed sales. I have 5 minutes and I have to be done, so I have to go faster. If you guys walked in late, apologies. It's my son's 5th birthday, and I promised to take him to lunch, and I got messed up on the time change for the meeting today too. We all did. Distress sales are down. Houses underwater are still at 1.9%, 6% average. So there's not a lot of distressed properties coming on the market. Student loan debt, this is something we have to keep an eye on. This is a big indicator why our first-time home buyers are down so low. More and more kids are being guided through college, which is great, except maybe the avenue they take of taking out a ton of loans and getting a degree that maybe doesn't have a good payout at the end isn't the best choice. So now they have trillions of dollars in student debt, these young people coming out of school, and those are about a house payment. So they can't afford a house payment at the same time. Things we need to look at, 2023, further escalation of the Ukrainian war. If that continues to escalate, all bets are off. Market, we can't tell what happened then. Market will go to crap, everything will go to crap if something like that was to happen. If inflation pops back up again, that's when we really got to watch, because if like the first indicator was it did, and if that kicks back up, and then it's really probably going to hurt a little bit more than what we thought it was going to. Debt ceiling, or if the government, they do this every year, we just keep spending money, we go into billions and billions of dollars, trillions and trillions of dollars into debt, then they agree, they come together, Democrats and Republicans come together and say, all right, what's our debt, we're not going to raise the debt ceiling, we'll shut down the government, it's a power play for both sides, they both do it, and then eventually, right before the deadline, they raise the debt ceiling and we take on more debt so we can continue the government. It's like a fun thing we do every year. Political tensions with China, if something was to happen with China, all bets are off once again. And environmental concerns, big hurricanes, storms, anything like that could you know, a Katrina type disaster could always affect certain areas, but it could hit here. Fires locally, that sometimes, but we're normally pretty, unless a big earthquake, knock on wood. Something like that could always affect what the market's doing overall, right? Natural disasters. Rent versus own. So there is a couple things out there if you nerd out like me sometimes and you get into the weeds with chats and boards of people talking about rent versus owning. And there is a formula out there where people can show that they can make more money if they rent and invest the difference into the market over time. They could have a better return. That is hogwash bull crap. Just letting you know that right now, because in a perfect world, right now rent's more expensive locally than what you're paying for in a mortgage anyways. Rent is just as expensive, right? So you're not saving money then to invest the other into a return. Over time though, renting and investing, a return of the amount they did, so in 2012 they showed a return of $106,000, where if you owned a home during that same time, the equity built up would be $234,000. So just information for you guys to sit out. By the way, I know you're taking pictures, but we do email these out to you, so you're welcome to get the real copy and use it for your stuff. Commercial trends, office, we're gonna skip that because I'm almost out of time. Multifamily started. Thing to keep an eye on multifamily is millennial, younger than Gen Z. They want to play video games and hang out. They don't want to work on the lawn and bigger yard. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Multifamily trend, really nice condominiums are seeing a trend for younger people where they could just come in and do their thing and not worry about the other. It's a little bit different of a mindset from previous generations where you wanted land and to do your own thing. Advent of technology, video games. I'm a nerd. Sometimes I get on those too, and I can see that. But I want my space. But that is less and less of a concern as we've seen. More multifamily, something to be interested in. Mark knows nothing about multifamily. Don't ask him anything. First-time home buyers. If you come into any investment thing, Mark is all in multifamily, and I think it's a really good thing to be in. First-time home buyers, you can see we're 26%. Historically average is 40%. Why? Student loan debt. Right? They're having a payment on their student loan debt, they're not being able to buy a home. Primary reason for purchase, it's all the same as it's always been. Nothing's really changed here. 10-year and previous home, first steps. I have to hustle through this, sorry guys. My time, I have to leave before I have to leave.
We can review these when you send it to us.
Yep, last thing I'm going to say is headlines do more to terrify than to clarify. U.S. foreclosures filing surge 115%. U.S. foreclosures activity doubles annually but still below pre-pandemic levels. Foreclosure filing rose 115% in the past year. So Adam, a leading curator of real estate data nationwide for land and property data today released its year-end 2022 foreclosure market report, which shows foreclosure filings, default notices, scheduled auctions, and bank repossessions were reported 324,000 in U.S. properties in 2022. It was up 115% from 2021, but down 34% from 2019. Before the pandemic shook up the market, foreclosures filings in 2012 were also down 89% from the peak of nearly 2.9 million in 2010. So that's the full story. This is what you see on the news. Full story. Like, yeah, last year was incredibly low, the lowest ever, because there wasn't a lot of foreclosures. This year was up, still incredibly low for the first time ever. We are going to do the awards next week because I don't have time to go through all this. I'm so sorry, guys. And there is one winner here, and nobody, for some reason, is like, close your eyes. Don't cheat.
Cheating.
Don't cheat.
I'm looking.
All of escrow should be here today.
Oh.
All.
All of them?
Yeah.
Well, who's gonna man the phone?
The automated system.
Automated system.
Sorry.
Sorry. We will have the awards, guys, for you next week as well. We'll dive into that. That took longer than expected, and we had to start late because no one's here. I have to go pick up my son before I get in trouble. Sean, take it away.
Yeah, okay, so I only click it once?
Only click it once.
So, oh gosh. All right, let's hope I don't mess this up. We're all gonna win. Yes. So let's see. First house. Okay, I'll do it that way. Oh, this one's cute in Leona Valley. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, built in 1975. 2,400 square foot on 12.5 acres. So this sold in the last 2 weeks. All right, Zoom, are we ready? Really cute inside. There should be another picture, right, before we get the price?
Yeah, one more.
One more? All right, that's really pretty. Let's see, what's your guys' guess? Anybody on Zoom?
850.
850? You see, I can't even see that far.
None of those have guests on them.
Is that your guess?
They're not putting, yeah, that's my guess. There's none on there.
All right, do we all have our prices locked in?
769 from
Okay.
one person, 950 from Leslie,
I don't know the prices. I would think
825 from Emily.
it's really cute. All right, are we ready?
Yep.
Holy
Oh,
moly.
wow.
760.
Oh,
Anyone?
you missed it by
745.
10 grand.
745. Anybody get closer but not over?
She went over.
Oh,
Wow.
there you go. Man, I wish I knew somebody that bought that house. It's really cute.
Nice.
Well, now we're going to East Palmdale, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, built in 1955, 1,600 square feet, on a 7,100 square foot lot. Ooh, I gotta put this one in there. 4% commission offered. I'm assuming to the buyer's agent.
Good assumption. Remodel, flip.
Remodeled. Do they do that? Okay,
Yeah, they just blurred out the neighbors.
got it. All right, then what do we got? It's really cute. It is 1,600 square feet.
Nobody's put anything in yet.
All right.
East Palmdale.
East.
It was pretty good size too, right?
1,600,
Yeah,
4
600
bedroom,
feet.
2 bath.
I'm gonna say 425.
That's a good
All
one.
right, are we ready?
435.
420.
Oh. You said 420?
I have 420, 4.
No, it's all over.
510.
510?
410.
410?
Who said 410?
Tiff.
Nice.
Oh,
409.
careful,
Somebody
Brenda.
said 409. Oh, who said 410 though?
Hi, Tiffany.
Tiffany?
Oh, so you got it, yeah.
It's like you're not even there.
All right, let's see. Last one. Quartz Hill. 3 bedroom, 3 bath, built in 1989, 2,500 square feet on 12,232 square foot lot. You do?
I can't remember what it sold for.
Oh, well, you remember what it listed for? Cute. Do you know where it's at?
No. And it's actually only a 2-bedroom.
Really?
It's not even 3. Yes, I know the listing agent.
Huh.
She used to be in our office. I can't believe it's sold.
Okay, now.
That's a lot of info.
Right. Plot thickens. Not a 3-bedroom?
The third one's in an office, has no closet. I guess it could be considered a bedroom, but
That looks like it's in Godey Terrace. Is it in Godey Terrace?
I don't remember.
All right, give me one more picture.
I'm almost sure that's Godey Terrace.
All
Which means
right.
it's a custom home
Do we
too.
have anything on Zoom? 665, 628,
6:30.
630,
I'm going 575.
600.
600. All right, are we ready?
574.
Last one of the day. Holy
Wow.
Holy heck.
Yeah, it's in Godey. It's gotta be.
All right, Leslie won, I think, 665. Anybody have higher than 665?
I did 6.
Congratulations, Leslie.
I remember being shocked at the listing price, and I couldn't believe she had an escrow. This is a
Wow.
market problem, like a
Wow.
long time.
Beautiful home, custom neighborhood, great location. What do we say? Location.
Oh, that's crazy. All right, guys, thank you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. See you next week.
Thank you, Shauna.
Do we want to see who won the award?
We want to be surprised.
All right, I'll let you guys be surprised. I have too much control over here.
Just a reminder, we're having a committee
No, I
meeting here.
feel like-
If anybody's interested in being a part of the Brokers Opens here that we have at the office, stick around.
Okay. And then, I don't know, did anybody talk about the cappers party that's coming up on March 9th?
Yeah.
The awards, cool. And then I think KW Fit is having their first hike this weekend.
Yes, hopefully it's not.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Where are they going?
They're going to, you know, the mountain bike
ready
park?
for next
They're gonna be up in Aqueduct off of 60th and then hike up to
Who's-
Ritter Ridge.
Who's running that?
Jason Portillo and,
No, you mean to wait for the next one?
Yeah, no, I
Jimmy
have
Moore.
to get something for my son and then.
Oh.
Volunteer for that, so, okay. I need to maybe see the location. I'll be in town this weekend.
oh yeah.
But yeah, I do want to stay.
And it's not gonna be raining or freezing or snowing.
Man, today's beautiful
Or
compared to
feeling-
yesterday. Holy
I
cow.
know.
Oh my
I
God.
liked how there was a 5-minute blizzard.
I didn't even need a jacket today. Yeah, it was like for like 10 minutes or
Yeah,
something.
it's that.
Yeah, we were sitting there in
I went
in
to
your
Sam's
conference
Club
room
and my
watching
hands
it. It
were
was
cold
crazy.
From the time
Oh,
I
did
walked
Micah
in
leave?
from the car.
She's here
Still
somewhere.
sick. Oh, she is?
Oh, got it.
Yeah, and I went to the gym and I was like, oh,
Michelle, you guys are gonna start doing broker opens just for KW? Or
No,
just-
we're gonna tag along with the
Let me know what it's
gallery to
about.
make it like a bigger event.
let me know what it's about.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So our first one is next Wednesday from 11 to 2, so I'm just trying to get some support for that.
Okay,
It should be good, I don't think our office has been doing it.
not very much.
Yeah. So I'm gonna commit to trying to do whatever I can to get my listings out there.
That's awesome.
Sold too.
Do they still do different areas each time? Or is it
No.
just everywhere now?
I'm not sure, that's a good question. That's a really good question. They changed it now, and how more of it is gonna be on us. We just enter in the MLS and we manage the whole thing. Before we used to send it to them to handle together. That's a good question. I think it's gonna be all over, honestly.
So what they're gonna start doing too is bringing back like Mark, remember the affiliate breakfasts?
Yeah.
So they're
Have we
gonna,
not done one of those since
before
COVID?
COVID.
Wow, I haven't gone in a while.
Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
haven't either. I need to
So,
start.
well, they're gonna start back up, and what they're gonna do is, so right now, Dean Henderson is the head of that committee. He wants to put it back together. I think it's gonna be like at the GAPR, training room, or
Okay.
maybe ABTA, and then they either want to,
What is ABTA?
Antelope Valley Transit Authority.
That's what I thought. I kept thinking, why are we having it at the Transit Authority? So
Because
we're- they
it
have an
was
open
cheap.
space?
It was cheap.
Hello Zoom, would you guys like to stay for the KW community meeting? If so, put a thumbs up in the chat so we can leave this live.